the Cinderella podcast, where we watch and review every Cinderella adaptation we can get our hands on, discussing the same story over and over until we slowly go insane. I'm Liv.
And I'm Talon, and today we watched Cinderella Gets It On, made in 1975, which is the Carol Burnett Disco Cinderella. Yes, you heard that correctly.
It sure is. So, listeners, I'm going to share something with you. My mom found this for us. I would not have found this. And I watched it first just to see if it was actually a Cinderella. And then I put it on the list, and Talon and I watched it together. And then I watched it again. And my notes are just word salad, just chaos.
This adaptation throws a lot at you.
Real fast.
Real fast.
I don't know how I'm genuinely impressed that you managed to take notes the first time that you watched it.
I think I'm getting better.
I think I'm getting worse.
Okay.
But I'm genuinely very proud of you.
Okay. So what this is a sketch, a Cinderella sketch from the 12th episode of the 9th season of the Carol Burnett Show, which was a very long-running comedy variety show featuring Carol Burnett, who is our Cinderella, who is hilarious. So I was very excited.
She is a hoot. She's a riot. She's, I think my first introduction to Carol Burnett was as the evil queen in Once Upon a Mattress. It's The Princess and the Pea, but a musical and also funny and weird. But she plays the evil queen, and she's a hoot. Carol Burnett is really funny, is what we're saying. She's great. So, Talon, how does this, I guess we're going to call this a movie. How does this movie open? Can you set the scene?
I will try. So it starts with Carol Burnett actually introducing the sketch, saying the story of Cinderella has taken many forms. It's been a motion picture by Walt Disney, an opera by Rossini, and a TV musical by Rodgers and Hammerstein. And I'm sitting there like, yes, I'm familiar.
We are familiar.
And then she goes, well, tonight we'd like to bring you our version of Cinderella. Cinderella Gets It On. And she says it in a very like va-va voom kind of way that I can't imitate.
It's great. Carol Burnett is going to do a lot of different voices throughout this that neither Talon nor I have the comedic chutzpah to emulate. So just go watch this. It's 24 minutes. It's screamingly funny. We're going to try to review it for you in case you don't have 24 minutes to watch this, but you somehow have an hour and a half to listen to us talk about it. Maybe you're on a long car trip.
So after Carol Burnett introduces it, a narrator also introduces the story by saying, once upon a time, in the land of the Sunset Strip, there was a groovy pad, and then there's Pad, hung out a mother and her 3 funky daughters by her first stud, which is a heck of an introduction.
It's an amazing introduction. So we got to stop first. We have to describe this room set that we open on, because the longer you look at it, the weirder it gets.
Oh, please do.
So the room is all the sort of lavender color with big sage green purple stripes in not a regular fashion. The stripes go around doorways and up corners of walls. There's half a bathtub next to the sofa, the long half of a bathtub just pressed against a wall with a door directly over it. Inside the bathtub are 2 tall palm fronds, and next to the bathtub is a massive die, just one 6-sided die, and a little tiny staircase that leads down from behind the, again, half bathtub and the door. There's a sofa that is blessedly just plain, and then a glass table.
I missed all of that.
I know you did, because I watched this for the 3rd time, and I just noticed that, like, that's not a table. That's a die. That is a die that is as tall as my knee. That is what? Oh, so.
I literally looked at it and my brain was like, we're not processing any of that. Let's go, moving on.
Well, and so the reason, beloved listener, the reason that Talon was able to completely miss the half bathtub with a door that opens directly into it, holding palm fronds with a massive die next to it, is because we're looking at a family that is dressed in just I'm the one that's supposed to do the costumes, and um here's where we run into a problem. I stopped caring about the costumes in the 1940s, and this is set in the 70s. So I'll be brutally honest with you. I do not know how much of what we saw is an exaggeration on what was worn versus no, this was just sort of the more extreme end of what was worn. I can't tell if this is a exaggeration parody or if this is just I mean that's a little out there, but yeah, no, that's a reasonable outfit.
They look like what you think of as very 70s outfits, but very like neon.
Yeah, so the stepmother is wearing a sparkly purple, absolutely skin tight dress with just a wild pattern on it. It is off the shoulders and very short and has wide black fur trimming around it. Everybody is wearing massive, massive platform high heel shoes. Just my ankles hurt just looking at them. The stepmother also has these green glasses that look like fancy leaves with big cutout bits over the eyes, like one of those really cool leather masks at a Renaissance fair with all the cutout parts and it's all swirly and cool, like that. Everybody's wearing a wig with the same hair color. It's this reddish yellow, strawberry platinum blonde color. The stepmother's is in this very curly, large, curly, big head thing. I Do you have better words? Please tell me you have better words.
I don't have better words. I think we just have to go like
Okay,
we just have to
just
do our best.
just extreme. Okay, there's three sisters. I've got them in my note as pinky, purple, and greeny because that's those colors that they wear. They very kindly color coordinated themselves. The three sisters are all dressed in very similar outfits. They all have neon skin tight capris with matching platform heels. And the pink sister has two super sparkly big pink bows on the side of her head, bigger than my hands, just massive, and sort of very curly hair. The three sisters are black, by the way. Um,
I was
this is
wondering when you were going to pause to bring that up.
I forget about it because it's never relevant. This movie is as colorblind as the Brandy Cinderella. So it is not important that they are black. They are though. So if you want to visualize, the hair is just this very silky, again, platinum strawberry blonde wig color. The purple sister has a wraparound top. The green sister has just a bandeau top with fingerless opera length neon green gloves with little jingly fringes on them. The green sister has her hair done in a big ball on top of her head with a smaller ball of hair on top of that. It looks sort of like a Kong, if anybody has dogs out there. And the other sister, the purple sister, has long hair. And they are just being hip.
So what they're doing is they're like vibing. One sister is, I think, listening to a Walkman, and then another one appears to be painting her nails, and then the third one is like playing on some bongo drums, and she
Oh yeah.
starts singing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We've got
and the
our
stepmother is like filing her nails and singing with them, and they like seem like they're having a really wonderful time. They're all jamming together. I
yeah, they're
kind
having
of really appreciated the family solidarity until it was like, wait a second, this is like the evil
wait.
step family.
It's
And the reason that this seems so happy and wholesome is because Cinderella hasn't arrived yet.
yep,
So no one's like bullying anybody.
yep. So they they yell for Cinderella and Carol Burnett makes her entrance. She is wearing the plainest green dress that goes to her knees. She's just dressed super dorky, just 1970s super dork. It's this white plaid, wide collared, dorky dress with a green dorky dress over it with a white and red plaid apron dorkily over that with dorky little sneakers, and her hair is in a little
Saddle
dorky bow.
shoes.
They're little she's dorking it up real hard and she's doing great, and her voice is very, well, I didn't know. It's but like funny because Carol Burnett.
So the narrator explains that the mother also had a stepdaughter that came from her second dude, and this chick's name was Cinderella. And she goes, "Hi, ho, everyone. I'm sorry I was so tardy." So she is kind of a little bit lame.
She is super lame. We find that she has been waiting in line for 18 hours to get the last tickets to the rock concert at the Palace of Rock. That's it. That's where they're going.
Where the fake Elton John is gonna be, who they refer to as Elfin John.
This is the first time that we've mentioned Elton John. The prince is going to be Elton John, guys.
Right, yes. So he's the Prince of Rock. So he's the prince, is
Mm-hmm.
what's happening.
Yep. His
But
name
they're
is.
very excited. They're very excited that he's gonna be there.
They sure are. They sing another song. This is the Cinderella You're a Square song, where she attempts to help them get ready and they make fun of her. She's told to do things like tie my blouse and clean the house, and she's racing around and they're just making fun of her, and she's clumsy and she cries and they run out the door.
They're basically not so much abusing her like the way you typically see a Cinderella having to take care of people. They're just telling her that she's a square over and over again and that they're going to have a really good time at the disco.
Yeah, they do start to get pieces of their evening outfit together. So the green sister gets, what are those things called that you unfurl to put in your car windshield to keep it from getting too hot?
Oh, I have no idea what they're called, but I know what you're talking about.
Those things. She gets a green circular one of those things put over the Kong on her head as her hat. Pinky gets a 2 foot long silver cigarette holder, and the purple sister just gets a big pile of feathers or fur or something as they just race around manically and then leave. At which point, Cinderella sings a very comically sad reprise of the Cinderella You're a Square song, and she's looking at herself in a little hand mirror going, Cinderella, you're a square. And it's great. So,
She also accidentally sits down on the mirror and breaks it
yep,
with a very comedic mirror breaking sound.
yep, it's a good comedy beat, solid. Cinderella then sings an I Wish song, which is a very fluttery, high song. She bats her lashes a lot. She sort of clasps her hands soulfully together. Um, this might be a younger listener thing, but it's Fiona's song from Shrek, is what it is. It,
Oh, yes.
yeah, it's that song. It's just very high pitched and then sort of modulates, and
She does like this ha thing,
it's very high pitched. I can't
but
sing
it's
that high.
very high pitched, so it's very silly sounding.
Yes.
Anyway, what she's wishing for is she wishes she was Foxy and that she was slick and that she was some kind of super chick, one that would blow your mind. Tina Turner and Cher combined. That's her dream.
And at this point in the music, her singing style changes from high pitched, airy, wishful to very low and bluesy. Just share combined. It's just all out of nowhere, and it's really funny. And she then proceeds to try to dance. She spins quite badly, and she says she's going to boogie. She says boogie really weird, and just puts her fingers in the air, just two of them by her shoulders, and just sort of does a doot 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 kind of movement.
She's not like a very natural dancer, and you can tell that she's like a deeply awkward individual, which I thought
Yep.
was really funny. And
Yep.
the second part of her song is that, if I were with it, I'd do my thing at the disco. And basically she's making up the scenario where everyone's going to be looking at her and being like, wow, there goes a chick who really knows what's going down.
Yeah.
um
Again, and we end on a very bluesy note. And then we go back into the I wish part, and we get the part where there is a sing along back, and there are sounds that come back to her as she sings, I wish, I wish. There's an echo that comes back.
it's meant
And
to be like the ha part, but
yeah,
it's like very garbled and very deep, and it just keeps going. And then there's fireworks and smoke, and the fairy godmother appears, and it is definitely a guy in drag. Liv tells me that this is Harvey Korman, if
this
that
is
means
Harvey
anything to
Korman. This is
anyone.
Harvey Korman, guys. This is Harvey Korman from Blazing Saddles, from Dracula Dead and Loving It, from other stuff that I haven't watched because I'm not super into older movies. But it's Harvey Korman, and he's hysterical. This outfit again is hard to describe. It's very blue. Um,
Yes. And very like latexy and overstuffed.
oh, very much. Harvey Korman has massive bazongas, just huge tracts of land, in a very, very skin tight dress that's very low cut and is very weirdly high cut. It's one of those sort of fishtail dresses that arches to a point sort of near the crotch and has lace and tulle and sort of fluffy stuff coming out from beneath it. So it's a very weird dress. And Harvey Korman is just dripping in sparkly jewelry, massive earrings, massive necklaces, massive crown of silver, and rings and bracelets and
He's also got
little
little fairy wings on.
little fairy wings. And guys, you gotta the accent that he chooses to use is very just German Jewish. He
He goes
places
full Jewish mother.
oh,
Like,
absolutely.
it's kind of hilarious because I have a Jewish mother, and like I love that joke. Like I love every Jewish mother joke.
Yeah, so he's just on screen for a second, and Cinderella looks at him and sort of looks at the camera and looks at him and sort of smiles and confusedly and looks at the camera again. And there's this great long moment of what? And finally, she looks at him and goes, "What are you? I mean, who are you?"
And he
And
goes, "Your fairy godmother Marcus. You're expecting maybe
Tinklebell. He says
Tinklebell."
Tinklebell. And then he goes, "Let me sit. My wings are killing me."
So I can't do the voice, but he's saying, "Oh, what a day I've had! What miracles I've brought! I got a doctor to make a house call. I got my son to visit me. I saved New York City from bankruptcy."
The word he chooses to use is bank rupture, by the way. Um,
Oh, that's what I wrote. And then I went back into my notes and I was like, why did I write that? That's not
nope.
the word.
Nope. He says bank rupture. My computer is also adamant that I've chosen the wrong word. Cinderella does, at this point, a very high pitched giggle, and Harvey Korman pinches her cheeks, and Cinderella goes, "Well, could you make a miracle for me?" And Fairy Godmother says, yes. And Cinderella goes, "Could you make me a hip chick?" And the Fairy Godmother goes, "You want me to make you a lip chits?" Again, this whole thing is done with Carol Burnett in a very, very dorky tone of voice, and she does more high pitched giggles. And she says, "No, I want to be a hip chick." And we then get the Fairy Godmother's song, which is a klezmer song called "If You Wish It."
Basically, the fairy godmother is saying, all right, if that's what you wish, that's what you get. You get the thing that you want. You are what you wish. A bird is a fish, a bagel's a yam. It goes on and on like that. And
Very
then
bizarre
at one
rhymes.
point, our Cinderella goes, "Oh, well, can I also wish my chest wasn't so flat?" And the fairy godmother kind of looks down and goes, "We'll see."
Yep.
So the fairy godmother requests 245 speed records with a hole in the middle.
It's this great, just klezmer music at this point. I could not, I will never get over how great it is.
And then Carol Burnett brings by 2 records and says what they are.
It's Lawrence Welk and Guy Lombardo. I also don't know who they are, but I did write it down.
Oh,
If you know who
excellent.
they are, you should email us at cinderellapodcast@gmail.com and tell us what their favorite songs are.
And the fairy godmother says good enough, so I guess the implication is that they're not very cool. But maybe they're cool now.
Who knows?
And then she starts requesting another object, and Carol Burnett goes, "Oh, a pumpkin." And the fairy godmother goes, "No, a pumpernickel." And so Cinderella brings her one, and it's like round, and she baked it herself. And the fairy godmother goes, "Gorgeous." And then she throws it, and there's an explosion, and she goes, "Zit."
It's so great. Harvey
I can't
Korman just
tell
straight
if
up
you're I can't tell if you're shaking your head at me because I'm doing something wrong or
oh,
because you're just enjoying yourself.
I'm just enjoying myself so much. I'm sorry. I'll start nodding my head when I'm enjoying myself. But I gotta chime in. Harvey Korman shot puts these 3 items across the room. It's the best transformation scene. I love it. It's great. Talon, can you describe the um mode of transportation that is created from these 2 records and 1 pound pumpernickel loaf?
We're told it's a motorcycle, but it's a very low to the ground, spread out, pointy kind of motorcycle.
Yep, it's got a sidecar.
Carol Burnett goes, "Gloriski Zero, that's teen." And they thought maybe Gloriski Zero was the name of the motorcycle, but no, it's just the thing that she says from a comic strip, and it's supposed to be like another way that she's square because everyone laughs.
Yep.
So she says, "Oh, Godmother Marcus, I can't go to the Rock Palace, even in that beautiful carriage. I don't have a thing to wear."
Okay, but she says it in this very dorky, pouty voice. So she goes, I don't have a thing to wear.
It's less like babyish, but not by much.
I can't do it exactly, but you guys gotta know. She does so many voices. It's fabulous. So the fairy godmother suggests, oh, okay, I can make you a nice dress with a stole and some pumps and a matching handbag. And Cinderella's just looking at him, not shaking her head. She goes, no, I want something hip.
So the fairy godmother goes, "All right, if that's what you want, that's what you'll get." And she's wearing the shiny, glittery outfit. Do you want to describe it?
It's white bell bottoms that are skin tight and covered in silver sparkling fringe. She has a wraparound halter top, also white with lots of sparkly silver fringe, and she has long hair now. She's had very short hair up until now, and it's the same silvery platinum strawberry blonde wig that everybody else is wearing. And her voice changes from super dorky to just talking normally.
Which is probably for the best.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
So the fairy godmother tells her to leave by the stroke of 12. And she's like, "Oh, I have to leave by midnight?" And she goes, "No, what? No, by 12 noon. Our functions don't even start till midnight."
It's so great. I love it. I love it. That makes me so happy.
And then they both get on the motorcycle, and the fairy godmother makes like a yarmulke. I can't say it. How do you say it?
Okay. Cinderella gets in the sidecar and Harvey Korman gets into the actual motorcycle and says, oh, I always wanted to ride a Japanese motorcycle, a yarmulke. And it's great. And they ride off again from the middle of the room. So adding this one to the list.
I I believe that that motorcycle could potentially fit through a doorway.
It's
Not
got
a standard doorway,
but it's got a
but
sidecar.
I'm just saying it could theoretically fit through a doorway in a home. That home is strange enough that it could have double doors.
Okay. But it does still leave from an interior room, is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
yes, but it
Okay.
doesn't necessarily have to do so by magic or by breaking down a wall.
Okay. Okay. I can add another column to the list.
Don't add another column to the list. So then there's a to be continued sign, and then we switch and we're at the party. And there's actually not a whole lot of people at this party. And I'm trying to keep in mind that this is for a TV sketch show, but it did kind of ruin the vibe a little bit for me.
Okay. Here's the thing. My internal comment was, "Oh, this is such a great amount of people for a party," because this is maybe 20 people, and that's a really good number.
Well, she stood in line for 18 hours for the tickets.
Maybe she stood in the wrong line for 18 hours because she's a dummy. You
Oh
don't know.
no.
It doesn't matter. So this club is very minimal in the set. It's got very bright lights sort of shining at diagonals across the background. Everybody's wearing really intense 70 clothes. I have no other way to describe these clothes.
My note literally says that the sisters are wearing more feathers on their outfits. And then some very 70s looking guys come up to them to dance. I
Yep.
did not try to describe the guys. Just picture
So,
the most 70s looking man, but there's three of them.
yes, that's who dances with them. I do have notes on their outfits. So, Purple Sister has fur on a short fringe see-through skirt over her capris. The Greenie Sister has neon green leg warmers attached to the bottom of her capris. And the pink one has now long Lord of the Rings trailing sleeves, but they are neon pink and see through with fur at the ends. Talon's nodding emphatically. I just want to be clear,
Yes.
y'all. I
Yes.
realized
This
that
is
that was
what
a
happened
weird,
on our screens.
yeah, that's a weird sentence that I just said, but that, come up with a better sentence. I dare you.
I mean,
The
I'm not
stepmother is,
gonna do it.
no. The stepmother is wearing the same outfit. And they all grab, again, just classic 70s dudes and start to dance.
One of them is wearing a sparkly beret over
Mhm.
his long shoulder length hair. Like picture the guys from ABBA,
Yes,
kind of.
kind of.
Anyway, they announced that the Prince of Rock, Elton John, is there, and he's, meant to be Elton John. So he's got a giant top hat on, really big glasses. He's wearing this spangly cat suit with these big silver platform boots.
Mhm.
And he plays some music. He doesn't sing because I don't think the actor that they got was going to be able to match Elton John for singing.
Yep.
But then he takes the piano bench and like takes the legs off of it and kind of gently throws them and also throws the piano bench offset. And I don't know if that's meant to be him being like wild and doing rock star shenanigans
Uh,
or
Unclear.
what
Um,
that was.
Elton John is also wearing massive square white glasses, a big studded dog collar, and like a wrestling belt with leather wrist guards, as if he was going to need to shoot a bow and arrow or something. Just to give you a full picture of
Yes,
so he's just dressed like Elton John.
basically. To the point where I had to ask, is that really Elton John? Did they have him as a musical guest? And then as the sketch went on, I was like, okay, that's not actually Elton John. But
Yeah,
I did have a moment of like, I don't know, those glasses are really big. It could be him.
I love you. So he announced that the next song is, quote, "She's yellow and built like a brick road." And then we sparkle cut to Cinderella, who's just
She's
at the ball now. She's just there.
yes. Yes. And she's the only one wearing white, so our eye immediately goes to her. I love this moment in every Cinderella where she stands out from the room in some way. And they
Yes,
actually they did a really good job with that. I
they
believe that
did.
she's really standing out.
Yeah, no, she really is. The stepsisters sing a song about how awesome she is. And
Okay, they sing exactly the thing that she was imagining somebody might say about her.
yes,
They're like, "Wow, who's that girl? She's so cool. Oh, look at her doing that her thing. There goes a chick who really knows what's going down." They're saying like all of the things word for word that she said, a chick who would blow your mind, Tina Turner and Cher combined.
it's so good. I love that. I think that's a really great way for the movie to let us know that this is genuinely everything that she wanted.
No, I thought that was really cute. I like it when songs get a reprise by somebody else who didn't hear the original song. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's cute.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Anyway, they end
Um,
the song by whispering, "Who's that foxy chick?" And then they decide to go get her autograph for Cinderella.
So the stepmother goes to get her autograph saying, "Oh, Cinderella's going to be so jealous," which was a weird thing to say. And as she goes over, Cinderella manages to somehow step on the weird black faux fur fringe on her dress and rips it and goes to try to fix it, to try to help, and is sort of holding this fur up near the stepmother's thighs, who goes, "What you doing down there?"
She goes, "What you doing down there, superstar?"
It's great. It's great. And Cinderella realizes that she has accidentally fallen back into her old mode of existing and goes, "Oh, I was just getting ready to do my dance move. Yeah, my dance move." And
Liv, what is the dance called?
it's called the schlumpf. So she basically manages to say, "Oh, I was just going to do a dance, but no, I don't want to do it anymore." And she's about to extricate herself from the situation, but Elfin John comes down from the piano, and he's fussy because he's playing his fingers to the bone, and ain't nobody paying attention. And he's just sort of ranting about this. And in mid conversation, he turns to Cinderella and just goes, "Wow, wow, 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 wow."
He goes, "Wow, what's happening?" at the end of all of those wows.
It's
And she
great.
goes, "Gee, hey man, everything's cool, dude."
Just trying real hard to not be square. Um,
She's just throwing in like man and dude at the end of every sentence, which is what I do when I try to be cool.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So he asks to see her dance, and she goes, "Oh, I couldn't possibly, and without my choreographer."
And
And
then
then,
the fairy godmother reappears.
yes, and immediately goes up to Elton John and starts hitting him and doing very provocative shimmies. The fairy godmother is much taller than the guy playing Elton John, so the shimmies
Even
are
in his
very.
platform boots.
Oh yeah, because Harvey Korman is a tall gentleman, and so his ample cleavage is directly in Elton John's face, and it's a very funny moment.
So the way that the fairy godmother hits on Elfin John is, "Hello, Prince, what a blintz," and calls him a regular hotnik and asks if there's something she can do for him.
But kind of Mae Westily.
Yes.
um, so Cinderella tries to clue the fairy godmother into the, "Oh, I need you to magic me up a dance. I need you to help me with this," without actually saying it. And the fairy godmother asks, "So what is the new dance?" And someone goes, "It's called the schlumpf." And she goes, "Oh, you knew my first husband."
And then she goes, "Gather around in a clump and we'll teach you the schlump." And she directs them to first shake their tuckus, then do a little pump, then do a little robot, and then make a little bump. And then they just say the words tuckus, pump, robot, bump all over. And then they do it. And it doesn't look like that different from any other 70s dance.
No.
It's just a lot of like doing the mashed potato. Is that what it's
Yeah.
called when you do the arm?
Yeah.
I'm waving my arms around for Liv.
Talon is indeed waving of arms. Um, and what they sing is essentially the rock around the clock song, but they do schlumpf at random points.
Yes, and they sing about doing it basically on the hour every hour. And that's how we elapse the time until noon.
12 hours. This is the most time that a Cinderella has ever spent with a prince.
It's a really long dance number. I felt it.
Yeah.
So Cinderella goes, "I got a split." And Elfin John is kind of looking at her and is like, "What?" And she's like, "I gotta go." And then she runs out and then she runs back in, hands him one of her shoes, and runs back out again, which
And
makes as much sense for leaving your shoe behind
mhm.
as anything. So why not?
Yeah, so she gives him a kiss on the cheek and, braces off, walks back, hands him his shoe, and he goes, "Hey, chick threw a shoe." And then we cut to home. We are back at home, and the stepsisters and mother are still wearing all of their just crazy neon feathers and fur, and they are soaking their feet in. Again, I want to be clear. This is half of a bathtub. This is a bathtub cut in length like a hot dog, and there is a 6-inch ledge behind it on which 3 of them are sitting.
It's a stage. They're on the stage.
Yes, I know. I want to be clear. This is how you do a low budget production, though. This is how you do. We're not spending any money on this. It's a stage. Deal with it.
You don't seem
So,
like you're dealing with it very well.
oh, I love it. I loved it. That's the thing. They didn't have styrofoam trees and try to tell me I was in a forest. They were just like, here's a door. It opens onto 6 inches. So again, so the door directly above the bathtub opens, and Cinderella comes out, and she is still wearing the one shoe, which again is a massive platform heel, and her other shoe is a flat sneaker. So she is doing a very lopsided walk as she walks along this, again, 6-inch ledge and down little bitty 6-inch wide stairs to help them do whatever it is they need doing with their sore feet.
The stepmother and the stepsisters don't seem to notice that she's wearing one of the shoes. And she's just like getting more hot water. They're all soaking their feet in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And they're talking about everything that went down at the dance and how they didn't really get to dance with the prince that much because that new chick danced every dance with him. And then there's a news flash on TV that announces that Elton John is conducting a massive search for the cool chick he danced with, and he's already tried the shoe on 18,000 feet, and then
Yep.
he shows up at their door.
Yeah. Wearing
Oh, please describe this.
I so he's wearing basically a women's 1880s black velvet brocade floor length winter robe coat thing with again a 4-foot top hat with massive feathers coming out the side.
It looks incredible.
It looks so pretty. I would 100% I would wear that as a winter coat. It's so classy. It's got these sort of high pointy shoulders, but that are just sort of delicately poofed, and long sleeves, and it's black velvet with this really pretty like purple and pink embroidered designs. It's so rich, it's so lush. It looks like the 1880s. It's gorgeous. It has these really interesting and intricate silver ties all down the front. I loved it. I felt weird about how much I loved it.
It was stunning.
It
It
was.
was my favorite outfit of the entire uh show.
Thank you. I feel very validated.
So he's like, oh man, thank goodness this is the last pad. Any of you chicks want to try on this shoe? And the stepsisters fight over it, and the stepmother gets it first and announces that it fits perfectly, but she kind of stumbles around. And he goes, nah, give it back. I'm going to make a planter out of it.
Oh man. She goes, see, it totally fits. And he goes, hold on, that don't fit at all. Give it back. I'm gonna make a planter out of it. It's it's a pump, bud. Like it's a platform set. How would you make a planter out of that shoe?
I don't know, but I want to see him try. And I want to, like, I would buy one off his Etsy.
Yeah. So Cinderella asks if she can try it on and walks towards him, just incredibly lopsided. Just
She's full on bobbing. It's hilarious because there's such a height difference between her
it's
shoes.
it's at least 6 inches.
And they're really emphasizing it to show that she's already wearing the one
Oh
shoe and
yeah.
no one's noticed. So, like,
Really playing it up.
yeah.
So Elton John gives her the shoe, and she proceeds to sit down and try it on as the stepmother sings another mocking song at her, and this was an amazing comedy moment of singing. So she sings, ooh, Cinderella thinks she can rule with Elton John. It makes like a squeak. It was great. I was dying. It's so funny. She plays it up so well as this mocking tone. And the shoe fits, obviously, because it's Cinderella. And Carol Burnett stands up, and the stepmother continues to sing, but changes her tune to "Who's my favorite daughter and the best daughter I ever had, who's gonna make room for her mama to move in with her and Elton and take care of her forever and ever and ever and ever and ever."
It was very funny. It was a really good moment.
Yes.
So
Okay.
then Elton John goes, "You're the foxy chick at the dance." And then he goes, "Well, glad you got your shoe back." And he claps her on the shoulder and leaves and just
Okay.
walks out the door.
Okay, but it's because he's disappointed that she's so square. Because he goes, like, you
Oh,
were
I
the
thought
one.
it's because he's gay.
No, it's because he's disappointed. He's like, you were the foxy chick with the hair. And she's like, yeah, it was me. And he goes, with the dress and the moves. And she's like, yeah. And he just sort of looks at her with this confused, like, look on his face and goes, and just claps her on the shoulder and goes, well, glad you got your shoe back. And books it out the door. And she just starts to sob in a very comedic way.
Oh, wow. We had really different interpretations of that scene.
I mean, that's what I saw happening.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, you have watched it 3 times and I watched it 1.5.
Okay.
So we're gonna go
So,
with yours. So
okay.
did
We can argue about this.
I mean
So,
no, I now that you've explained it, that makes more sense.
okay, thank God. I was like, I don't think I could have gotten this that wrong. Anyways, so her tears summon Harvey Korman again,
The
and
fairy
Cinderella,
godmother.
the fairy godmother, sorry, and Cinderella explains what's happened, that she loves him, but he doesn't love her because I'm so square. And fairy godmother tells her that there's other gefilte fish in the sea, but you were meant for each other. Why fight it? And waves her wand at the door.
And then Elton John, the actor, comes back into the room, but he's wearing just a suit and like a little hat, and it's all very bland and very normal 70s office man.
Just extremely boring. Just the
And
most
now he's a
boring.
square too.
He's selling stuff though, Talon. Did you write down what he's selling?
No.
Okay, he's selling a toothbrush and a possible broom. And Cinderella approaches him and goes, "Oh, Elfin, you're a square." And she kisses him on the cheek. And then she goes, "You're a square." And she kisses him on the cheek twice. And she goes, "You're a square."
Well, he also looks at her and goes, "Wow, are you ever a keen?"
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot that part. Anyways, so the implication is that now that he is not um hip, he likes her. And I will have many questions about this. I'm going to want to discuss this. But
Okay.
we're almost done. We're almost done. So Cinderella then sings the opening song again as her stepsisters proceed to give her random bits of their outfit. And by random, I mean she gets the green sister's hat, the pink sister's 2 foot long cigarette holder, the stepmother's ripped fur hem as a stole, and
They're
something from
just
the
kind
pink
of
sister.
draping things on her like they're decorating a Christmas tree, but like badly.
Yeah, and then everybody's dancing. Cinderella and the Elton John character are dancing very squarely, very, very not cool. But everybody else is dancing pretty fun. And then the end.
And that's it.
And that's it. We are finished with this Cinderella now. So how are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Well, feeling okay. I feel like I
Yeah.
maybe missed some key things.
Yeah. So okay, I'm super curious about this. What are your highs and lows then?
This whole thing didn't have highs and lows. It just stayed at the same fevered pitch the entire time. It like hit a note and then it just stayed there and it never calmed down. We never got a moment to breathe. I don't know how I'm supposed to take highs and lows because it didn't have any.
I agree with that assessment completely. What was the most unexpected moment for you? What moment were you most caught off guard by?
I was really caught off guard by the fake Elton John.
Yeah,
I did really enjoy the Jewish drag fairy godmother. I,
I
I
loved it.
enjoyed that. I enjoyed that they really utilized that character because
Yep.
she was on screen more often than you would typically see a fairy godmother.
Hmm.
And every time that she was on screen, I was like, oh heck yeah.
Oh yeah, more Harvey Korman. Yes, please. I think I was most surprised when I first watched this, just at Harvey Korman as the fairy godmother, because I was,
It was pretty surprising.
and it's really well done comedy. Because again, this is the 70s, and this is not a super. I mean, Carol Burnett is awesome, But like the 70s as a generation were iffy. And I felt like this didn't feel bad in any way. There were a lot of black characters, but there was no notice or attention. It didn't matter. This movie was just totally colorblind. I thought it was really fun. The stepsisters were all very pretty, by the way. Like they had weird hairstyles, but it was the 70s, so I really couldn't tell if those were supposed to be bad hairstyles or extra cool hairstyles.
There were a lot of places where the movie could have taken a dark turn, especially based on what we've seen
Mhm.
doing this,
Yeah.
and it just didn't. It
Oh,
was like, no, we're just gonna keep it fun.
yeah, we're just gonna have a good time. We're not gonna put any bad things in there.
Yeah, so I really like that.
What would you change about this movie?
I don't even know how to answer this question. Like, this wasn't a movie. This was
What
an
would you
episode from a comedy show,
what would
like
you
a
change
comedy
about your
sketch.
what would you change about your viewing experience then?
Well,
I don't know
I
how
just mean that like it wasn't structured like a movie, and I can't like assess it for plot because that's not the point.
I mean, this is it's like strong disagree. This is a stronger movie than about half of season 1,
I mean, it is more cohesive than a lot of the things that we've seen, especially a lot of the animated ones.
especially a lot of the short ones. Even some of the long ones, I would say this is a better narrative cohesion. This is 24 minutes, y'all. This is a short movie.
There is something about the ending that's kind of a bummer where he saw her and he didn't like her and she really liked him, so I didn't like that. I didn't That's not like a funny joke for me. That's just
Yeah.
kind of a bummer. But I
Yeah.
did like at the end where they got together. So I don't know, like I wish that I get what they were doing with the and now he's a square too and they're happier that way. And I wish they'd gotten at that point without him rejecting her.
So I think what you wanted was the ending to the Brendan Fraser Bewitched movie, where the pretty girl still doesn't want him at the end, but then he meets someone
Oh, do you mean bedazzled?
bedazzled. I do mean bedazzled.
I was like,
Yes.
when was he in Bewitched? How did I
Sorry,
miss that?
bedazzled. Those words are close in my head.
No, I see what you're saying, and I'm actually thinking more of a Shrek ending,
Oh, okay.
where like I want them to kiss and then he becomes square too.
Oh, like a Princess and the Frog kind of thing.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I would accept that as an alternate ending as well. I didn't like that his entire personality got overwritten.
Yeah, like that's a
I
bummer.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's not funny. I would rather he be like, "Oh, my twin is here. Bye." Or he leaves and on the way out he bumps into you just hear voices in the hallway and he bumps into a salesman who comes in and it is also him,
He could
but
introduce
square.
her to his brother.
Right, that would be great. Or he could bring his brother along to help him try on shoes or something. There are a lot of ways. I didn't love the ending. Um
Yeah, that's the part that kind of stuck out at me too.
I mean, it was cute and it was fun, but it was kind of a bummer in a little bit of ways. So, Talon, do you think our listeners should watch this?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Absolutely. Go watch this. Watch this multiple times. This is great. This is so much fun.
It was
Uh,
a real hoot.
yeah, I had so much fun the first time I watched it. I've had the same amount of fun every time I've watched it. It just continues to be super fun every time I watch it. It's a great way to just having a bummer. Just watch this 24-minute thing. Boom. Not bummed anymore. Bummer is gone. So, what final grade would you give this movie?
I don't know how to grade
Oh,
this.
I can I go first then?
Oh, please do.
A plus.
A plus. Okay.
A plus. They did so much with so little. They told an incredibly cohesive and good Cinderella story. This is a good Cinderella. It had all the Cinderella points. It was really funny. The comedy beats really hit without being mean to anybody as a group. So it
Hmm.
didn't have any of the things we've seen in Cinderellas that I really hated. It had all the things we've seen in Cinderellas that I really like, It was really funny the whole time. It had a bunch of songs, but they were all really kinda good. I enjoyed all of the songs, even the weird Schlumpf song I liked. The songs were funny.
Really?
I liked them. I loved how over the top it was. Maybe the ending was a little weird, and so I might give it an A instead of an A plus, but no, I'm giving it an A plus. I loved this. This made me happy, and given how badly season 1 went, I'm I'm not gonna be stingy with my praise. This is an A plus for me.
Okay. I'm not quite there, but I do feel more comfortable with giving it a B plus because it was definitely in the B range before, and I was like, I don't know how seriously should I be taking this? Based on my enjoyment, it was a B plus. Like I had a really good time. I don't know that it's like structurally that great or if the characterization was where I usually like it to be, but it was a good time.
It was a good time. It was a good spin. As a spin on Cinderella, this was fun.
Yeah, like as far as gimmicks go, I'll take a
Mhm.
70s
Yeah,
disco Cinderella. Why not?
absolutely. The whole concept of doesn't even start until midnight. No, you have to be home by noon. That was so great. I loved it.
That was really cute.
Yep.
So would you watch it again?
Oh, I'm tempted to watch it again tonight. After we get done with this, I might go make Garth watch it with me again. So what about you? Would you be watching this movie again?
I don't think so, but I also feel like at some point one of the songs is going to get stuck in my head and then I absolutely will be watching it again. Well, it's almost midnight, so thanks for joining us. If you liked this episode, please leave us a rating or a review. We'd love to hear from you, so follow us at CinderPod on Twitter and Instagram, like our Facebook page, or email us at thecinderellapodcast@gmail.com. If you want bibbity bobbity bonus episodes or to hear us discuss this week's Cinderella some more, but with more adult questions, language, and beverages, join us in the Ever After Party at patreon.com/cinderpod. Our intro music is Bad Ideas by Kevin MacLeod. You can find him at incompetent.com. So, Liv, what are we watching next week?
Next week we'll be watching Cinderella Story Once Upon a Song. I have no
Are
idea
we?
which one this is in the Cinderella franchise. I have lost count. There are still more, so this is not the last one. I think this actually might be the third one. Yeah, it's a Cinderella story, another Cinderella story Once Upon a Song, Cinderella story If the Shoe Fits, and then Cinderella story Christmas Wish, and then Cinderella story Starstruck. Oh God, save us. This is gonna be such a bad season. Anyways, we're watching Once Upon a Song next week, and I am very excited about it.
Well, until then, we hope you have a happily ever after.